Evening. Welcome to House Groups. We are now in week 2 of our Happily Even After series. We're talking about marriage again. Now, if you're single, divorced, widowed, you're not married, I just want to tell you, I think there's so much of this, particularly this week, but really the whole series, that you can apply to any friendship, to any relationship. So I pray that this is still really helpful to you. This week, we're talking about how much of conflict in a relationship can either cause you to bring out a magnifying glass or a mirror. So when you feel kind of, when you're in conflict, you're either going to start to meticulously inspect the flaws of the other person, or you're going to hold up a mirror to yourself and see your own faults. And love is patient, it's humble, it keeps no record of wrongs. Love looks in the mirror. I think there's really another practical tactic that we could apply here that would be really helpful for us, and it deals with the mind. In a number of places in the scriptures, particularly in the New Testament, we're told that our thoughts, what goes on in our mind, is really important to our spiritual formation. Right? We're to renew our mind. We're to take our thoughts captive. Paul in Philippians chapter 4 tells us that we should think about whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, whatever is praiseworthy. And yet a lot of people, when they think about their spouse, you're just kind of thinking about them throughout the day, are caught up in completely negative thoughts. Like, let me ask you, when I mention your spouse to you, I say, think about your spouse, what are the first 3 or 4 characteristics that come to mind when you think about them? For a lot of people, I think the first 3 or 4 are all negative. Like, oh, they're incompetent, or they're super stubborn, or they're just lazy, or they're sloppy, or they're a neat freak, or we just go right away to this negative list. The challenge is, if those are the things that are always bouncing around in your head all day when you think about your spouse, it's going to make it really hard for you to improve your relationship, because you're thinking of a person that actually you don't even really want to improve your relationship with. But one of the things I want you to do this week is I want you to re-inspect your spouse. Like, if someone would have asked you to define your relationship, name the 3 or 4 characteristics that come to mind. Let's say you would have been asked that 2 months into your dating relationship. What would you have said about them? You'd have said, well, they're incredibly good looking, they're really funny, they're fun to be around, they're smart. You would have had this list. And see, the reality is your spouse is still most, if not all, of those things. We've just been looking at them through pride-filtered glasses, not love-filtered glasses, right? Because you put on pride, which is sort of the opposite of love we've been talking about in our message this week. You put on those pride-filtered glasses, and the glasses cause you to see just their faults and not yours. They cause you to see just their faults and not their strengths. And so my encouragement to you during group tonight is to take the pride-filtered glasses off, re-inspect your spouse, and look at them with fresh eyes. And I pray that will be helpful to you. Amen.